Welcome back to the course. So let's continue with the interactive grid and we'll dive into the interactive grid features part. So coming into here, I'll be using this search all text columns. So if you want to quick filter IG, you can search from here. So if search for one, it will be filtering at the complete row. So whatever the row contains one will be searching for me. But if I want to search with respect to a column, there's an option here at the drop down. So if I want to search with respect to maybe a customer postal code for an example, if I want to search for 2, so by default, if I search for 2, it tells me that it contains 2, not equal to 2. So whatever it contains 2 will be filtered, and this is how the filtering is done. And further filters can be done and a particular view will be added here. You can see what you want to filter, and if you don't want a filter, you can make it unchecked as well. And if you want to collapse, there's an option for that as well, and what are those active, I can see it and I can clear that as well. So the same thing, you can use it for the actions and in the filter, but this is advanced filtering because basic one has only the contains operator. But if you want to do some other way, maybe if you want to take the credit limit and you want to search for greater than maybe 1,000 and save it, and it will override the previous one and shows me the users having credit limit more than 1,000. But this one kind of filter here, like an advanced filter. So this is how it's done, and let me make it unchecked if I don't want to. And going to the next, we have already covered those columns which we can configure and display whatever we want. Maybe if you don't want the street address to, and maybe the phone number to, URL, tags, and if you don't want these kind of columns to display, we can just remove them and just those will be removed. But at the end, we have to save it as report to make it changes to the other user. So let's save as a new report. Maybe for myself, I want this report for myself. So it will create a report for me. So if I go to primary report, I can see all the columns which is from the default. If I go to my report, this is for me, this is for my user, and you can see here only the filters will be taken, and every actions of I did in this lecture will be taken under Vailchandru, which I will save it again and again. So this is the use case of a report in the interactive grid. So coming to other options, we have data, which we can sort with respect to any column. For example, we select credit limit, and if I want to sort descending, I can apply sorting it as well. And here also you can do it. If you want to click this arrow button, it will automatically sort based on whatever you already want. So it's removed now. If I click again, it will be sorted, and if I click again, it will be removed. If I want to sort ascending, I have to click the up arrow. So this is how it's done for making sorting easy and quick. And if I want to add the aggregate function, suppose for example, if I want to show the total credit limit, I'm taking the credit limit here. I want to submit how much the credit limit is here for all users. I can display it, and even I can mention tooltip as well. So if I use that, a new view is added here, and the total credit limit is showing here in bottom. And if I don't want, I can make it unchecked as well. So it will be a normal view. So coming to the next one, which is the refresh and flashback. Refresh is just for refreshing the grid. You know, it's nothing much to change. And if I go to flashback, that's a very good feature. For example, if I want to change something, maybe I want to add some city here to the existing, like Phoenix, and if I want to add state as well, Arizona, it's state, and if I save it, So it's saved. If I want to see the flashback of the previous data, you can do that thing using this flashback option. So I want to see what is there for 5 minutes ago maybe. If I save it, and it will throw me a read-only screen or report data as of 5 minutes ago. So it's taking from the server, and you can see I haven't filled this 5 minutes back. Just now I have filled, and it's a read-only report. You can't edit, obviously. So this is how it's done, and I'm making it unchecked here as well. And then you can add further selections, like under the format you can do a control break, maybe with respect to columns. Suppose you want to add a control break based on a city. Maybe city would not be a good example, as mostly each row have unique cities. But if there are a group mentioning here, we can do that as well. Maybe with respect to credit limit, that will be a good option. And I'm just saving it so you can see it's control break. It's showing me with respect to the 100 as the first one a user is there, and with respect to 1000 2 users are there, and rest all are unique. Maybe this one is grouped well. So this is how it's done with respect to control break, and I'm just making it unchecked to make revert back to the old one. So the next option we have is highlight. Suppose in case I want to highlight a row, like maybe a list name, I just want to give a name highlight a row. I want to highlight the column with some color. Yellow would be good, I guess. And the text, let it be default, and I will just highlight with respect to a credit limit less than 1000 maybe. I'm saving it, and it shows me another view as well. Albert is now less than 100, so it's highlighting me 1000, and it's highlighting the thing. Even the same, you can click again and change the highlight with respect to column as well. And these are options you can do. You can change your customization of your report. And the next one is the selection part, and I think we have covered this fill and clear in the last lecture, where you can fill the selected rows with your own, and you can clear the same selected columns. It's the same we saw, but this is under the actions menu. If you want to use on multiple selected rows quickly, you can use this from the top. So that's all for the things for this. And the first one we have this copy to clipboard. So the selected row will be copied, and you can paste it maybe in the Excel sheet, and you can duplicate this rows as well. So we don't want this duplication, and I'm deleting it, and you can delete it as well and save it. It will be deleted. So this is about the selection. But this one feature we have to see in IG, it's row selection by default, and you can make it with respect to cell selection, which I'll be telling you. If you want to make it as a cell selection, I'm selecting this option, so the edit mode should be turned off. And if I click here, it's not highlighting me the complete row. Earlier it used to highlight me with the complete row, and this checkbox is removed, which is the row selector. So now it's in cell selection. And if you want to select multiple, and I can use the shift key, so I'm just holding it, and this multiple selection is happened. And with the same feature as Excel, we have this copy down button, which is from the selection. You can see this option is enabled only when we have a cell selection of more than one row. And if I click on copy down, you can see the first row, which is 100, will be copied to all the rows. But we didn't want this to be saved for now, because the credit limit is very important in this database, and I will just revert it, and you have to make it enabling row selection again, and select everything from the row selector and click on revert changes, and everything will be reverted. So this is also a good option to revert or changes. These are important features for now, and if we have a report, we can save it again for the report name Velchandru, and it will be saved for me. And we can save as again to create another report or copy of it. And the final one is the download, which I can download this complete report in the form of CSV or HTML or PDF, and even I can send this to my email as well. So these are the things which interactive grid has, the interactivity, and you can play with it and explore it. Oracle Apex has provided a lot of features over here, and it's very useful now. Features coming and coming with new versions, and you can play with lots of customization on JavaScript as well. We have these APIs to do so. So that's it for the interactive grid. So we'll continue with the forms in the next lecture.